place and the time and the day. I don't control it. So it's up to them to tell you. What I will tell you is it's 2.5 hours long, and you get 10 minutes at the start to read the entire exam. So 10 minutes reading, 2.5 hours to actually do the programming. What are you going to do? Well, again, individually solve a variety of programming problems. It's a closed book, and it covers the whole course. So there'll be stuff from everywhere in that exam. Do you have questions? Oh, you have to speak a wee bit louder in this space. One. There is one that deals with the Windows API. It is a very straightforward program. It uses MessageBox, and you don't have to create your own window, for example. You don't have to make a message pump. You don't have to do WM command. You don't have to do any GDI drawing. So one MessageBox style question. There are 10 examples on Blackboard, the vast majority of which, and exercises, are old exam questions. I'd say week 12 is the easiest place to identify the exam questions because that's the only place we can use that stuff. All the other exam questions are scattered through all the old weeks 1 through 11 labs that you've done throughout the semester. So that answers that question, hopefully. Yeah, absolutely. There's one. Go for it. Yes, P1 colour is there. There's a question that asks you to use set text colour and move cursor to, and it asks you to modularize, i.e. work with functions, and take user input and print stuff out. And it gives you some source code to work with, but you'll have to do the bulk of the work, right? It's up to you to make it do what it needs to do. Yes, you've got to use colour, set text colour. Yes, you've got to use move cursor to. And without those two things, you won't be able to get that question working. P1color.h and .lib are already pre-configured in that question, so it's ready to go. There's a little sample to start with that you can look at, you can read the question, and you'll be good to go. So yes, one P1 color question. What else? It's going to be a long 46 minutes of me waiting for you. You've got me, I should mention, for 46 minutes. You can use me for whatever you want for 46 minutes. Once 4 o'clock comes, I'm gone. Go for it.
So would there be something like that? One of the exercises was to print out card initials via random? Be similar sort of complexity?
Yeah, of course. Yep, similar complexity, absolutely. You'll have to generate random numbers. That's there. What that random data is, well, I'll leave that for the question. But suits, cards, that's reasonable. Rolling a dice, it's reasonable. Any sort of random thing, it's just a number. Just how you interpret the number depends on what it actually is. You know, I could roll a random dice and say, how many people are going to turn up to the lecture today? Or for any 36 samples or 72 samples across City and South for one semester. That would be an interesting exercise. But yes, does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay, cool. What else? Go for it.
So first two tests, they had like 7 small tests.
Yep.
And the last one, they had like 4 complex ones. So what style will be?
I go for 3 complex, larger tasks, because I think that last question was pretty small in test 3. In the exam scale, there is a variety. There are small questions that you'll do quickly if you know how to program. There's larger questions that will take a bit longer for you to do if you know how to program. There's questions that will be impossible to do if you don't know how to program. There is a giant variety across the exam. So it won't be all eggs in one basket. I got the question this morning at South where the student said, how many questions are there? And again, I said 2.5 hours worth. There's 2.5 hours for you to work on that exam. That's a very generous amount of time for the amount of work that's in there. But remember, all those hours you've spent preparing for that exam hours. They build into giving you the ability to do that exam. So at this point in time, it's like 120 hours have been spent to get to this moment for you to learn to program. And there's those last 30 hours for you to prepare for that final exam. I'm not even asking you to put that in a journal. I'm just saying go for it. Use the last 30 hours to get ready for that exam. So there's a variety of question sizes. Again, use basic exam or test strategy. Read the whole thing. Look at the marks. Figure out how many marks per question. Figure out what a mark is worth per minute. These should be basic little calculations you can do so that you know where to spend your effort. And if you've read the whole exam, pick the biggest wins first. Pick the easy questions. I had a South student this morning say to me, I always get stuck on question 1 and I don't move forward. I just stay there and there's other stuff I could do. I'm like, well, that's your choice to stay there and keep getting stuck. You could have moved to question 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. Don't just stay on 1. Look at the whole thing. Do your analysis. Do your due diligence to figure out where you can excel in that exam. But there is a giant variety. Does that answer your question? Cool. What else? Go for it.
Do I have online pointers for that?
No. Oh, the question was, is there a function pointers question? No. Yeah, no. I mean, you can use them, right? You could put them in there. You could add that feature into your programs that you develop. There's no reason why you can't. Am I looking for it? No. Could have, but I'm not going to. What else? Go for it. Text file. Yeah, I'm not going to make you do a binary file. I'll simply keep it text only. Yeah. Yes, you have to work with text files. A couple of questions in there that use that. Absolutely, it's in there, right? It's learning outcome 10. Can you work with files? It's very easy to contextualize that file I/O knowledge into your code, provided you know how to program. What else? This is good. This is much more lively than what the South was to start with. What else do you need? That's 9 minutes. Look what you've milked out of me already. What more do you want? Go for it. No. No bit shifting. You should know about bit shifting. It's an easy little task. It's kind of nice to just drop it in near the end of the course. You've probably seen it in Foundations of IT Infrastructure. It's really just, this is how it works in C, and this is how it operates in, allowing us to pack more data into a variable and then send it into a function. Very useful, very common. You've seen it in the Windows API with basic Windows stuff. What else? Yep, go for it.
If we give mallets that use pointers,
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, there'll be a mallet there. You'll be able to mallet some data, free it. There'll be something dynamic, something I'm asking for that can change size. Every time you run it, it could be a different size. What does that say? It says array, right? Or some number of structures, something. There's some data that run it once, there's 1, run it again, there could be 10, run it again, there could be 100. You're going to need a mallet. You're going to need a pointer. You're going to need to access that data, dereference it. Yep, definitely. Pass by reference, right? It's there. It's not explicitly your question, mallet. Yes, mallet's there. What else? Yeah, right. There's no recursive structure. I tested it in test 3. Go for it. Yeah, you could use typedef and enum, and I think you should use typedef because it makes your life easier. If you still don't know how to typedef a structure, what are you doing? It's like the easiest thing in the world that makes life so much easier. Enum, similar. If you want to restrict the data types down to values that make sense for some purpose, yes, you need it. And by the way, I admitted P1 color is there, so yes, enum is absolutely there. All the colours are stored in an enum. You'll need to use that to set the colours. So yes, colour is there, enum is there. and type it. Yep, use it. What else? Yep. Well, given I just admitted to no function pointers, then they won't be there, because they need function pointers. So no vsearch and qsort. That'd be great if you knew how they worked, because it would help you do other questions that require the same knowledge, just not explicitly qsort or vsearch. What else? Go for it. There's no written component. If you look at the paper descriptor, you'll see that the tests have a written component. The exam doesn't. The exam is fully practical. It is the final practical exam. There's no written part. There will be a one sheet, an A4 sheet for you to write your machine down and your ID down, and then on the back page there's room for you to take notes and design or do whatever, but we won't mark it. So you can write, but we're not marking any written stuff. It's all code. Yep, okay, good. Finally, it only took like 36 lectures, well 35 and 20 minutes, or 12 minutes. Okay, what else? Loads of time still. Loads of exam left to talk about. Happy to do anything, go for it.
So we're strictly prohibited to insert pictures from the slide into the journal.
Yeah. Don't copy my slides. There's no point copying my slides and putting them in the journal. The point of the journal is for you to write your notes, not mine. I don't want to see you regurgitate pictures of my slides in the journal. No, the brief says that explicitly. Don't copy my slides. Don't do it. You can critique my slides, sure. Make a bibliography. Put in a citation. On slide 3 of lecture 5, Stefan said this, and I disagree with it. He's wrong. Cool, fair enough. Or whatever it might be that you want to talk about. But don't just copy my slides. No. Don't copy my slides. You can write your own notes. Don't copy mine. Those are mine. Don't copy them. I just don't want to see my slides. I want to see your notes. My slides are not your notes. Your notes are things you're creating throughout the course. What else? That wasn't an exam question, by the way. That just got snuck in, which is fine. I'm willing to answer anything. Recording journal, there's one question. What else? Anything? Okay, now it's gone downhill. South just kept going and going. And there are far less students there. Go for it. What's that? How old am I? It's a really rude question. It is, right? Like, you don't ask people their age. What does it matter? When I first started teaching, I was younger than my students. Some of my students said to me, as we were doing the tour of the building, right? I remember this very, very clearly. He said, how old are you? I said, oh no, it doesn't matter, right? I didn't say it was a rude question then, I probably should have. That student went on and has worked for loads of different places. I saw them last at the last Game Developers Conference, and it's always good to see my old students. It's so cool to see what they get up to. And generally the students are all like in the same boat, right? They've all done the course, maybe many generations of it, over many years. They all had a different version of me, you know, a little bit older each time. And seeing those students are always so excited. Like, oh, Stefan, how are you? What are you doing? Look what I'm doing. Thank you so much. The stuff you taught us was so useful. And I hear that all the time. It's like, okay, great. Obviously you've got a job. Obviously you've worked on loads of stuff. It's so exciting. But yeah, that all came from how old are you? Yeah, I love it. I can't wait to see what you guys do, right? Like, where do you end up 3 years' time? Like, what happens? Pop out of the degree? Where do you go? Can't wait to find out. Told you that on day one. Go for it.
Is there any website or software you can recommend that can simulate sort of exams?
No, not really. what I can recommend to simulate the exam is go to Blackboard, pick some number of questions, 10 could be good. Just pick 10 random things out of the exercise on Blackboard. Give yourself 2.5 hours, 10 minutes to read them all, and do it. You don't need any software to simulate it. You've got Visual Studio, you've got a boatload of questions, you just use them all. Just pick some randoms. Okay, don't pick all random week 1, right? People always complain, like, don't make me do ASCII art. Every bit of feedback, there's at least one person in there so grumpy, don't make me do ASCII art. It's like, really, how is that a legitimate concern? It's not, really. Go for it.
Do they have files functionality?
Yes, I feel like I did answer that one. There is File.io in the exam, absolutely. Go for it. Yeah, there is a static library, P1 Color. I've created it, I've set it up. You won't need to make your own. You won't need to bring it into the project. It'll already be there. But yes, there is external third-party code that's not part of the general old C environment. How old do you think I am? Anyway. What else do you need to know?
Is there other websites where I can get programming exercises?
Probably Google, right? Programming exercises, enter.
So you even got to know, like, I don't have enough knowledge to do those exercises.
Oh, that's a worry. You should get the knowledge to do those exercises. You can always ask us in the forum, and if you've got some weird thing that you can't figure out, just ask and we'll help. Whatever it is that you need, we'll get resource for it. We're always pushing on the boundaries, right? We're pushing more. If you want to do something different beyond whatever, just ask and we'll try and help. Of course, we'll focus on getting you through P1, but if you want more, I don't have any websites, just boom, here, have some, but there are loads on Google that you can just go and search, programming exercises. There's heaps out there. All those exercises in P1 are like ones that we've built, we've created, we've thought about, and you'll see common themes. You'll no doubt see the same style of thing happening everywhere because it's just programming. But yeah, I don't have any website, but maybe ask in the forum. I bet out of the cohort, there'll be loads of people that have their little friendly C exercise website that they've been using and secretly not sharing with anyone. I bet people are out there that have done that. Go for it.
Just wanted to check, so with the first 3 exams doing
Tests.
Test, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have allocated time to give a read through the test. Will we have time in this exam?
Yes, so the tests have no reading time, the exam has 10 minutes.
Okay.
So you get 10 minutes up front to read all the questions, to make a mental plan. You can't write, you can't code, but you can read. You can't talk to anyone, and you've got to decide where to spend your effort and how much to do. My advice, do everything. Don't leave any questions out. The bare minimum, put pseudocode to everything. Put comments in. Show us your thought process. It's a bare minimum. There's nothing worse than marking the exam and going, oh, another empty question. Oh, another empty question. Oh, another empty question. It's just a waste. And then I look at the log of like when people left the exam, I'm like, oh, you could have done something here. I could have awarded some marks for this. But you've left me with nothing. I can't do anything with that. Oh well, go for it. We look at the comments, absolutely, and we think about the parts that are there, and these things can help actually generate a solution. So yeah, we look at everything. See that level of detail. What else? We've still got me 9 minutes. Not even halfway, so good. Yep, go for it.
How long would we have access to P1 Blackboard?
It's a good question. I don't know because I don't control that either. But I do talk to my 3rd year game students, and every semester I ask them, do you still have access to P1? And they go back and click and go, yeah, look, it's here. And they see, and I look at them like, oh yeah, I remember P1 of that style. That was like how it was 6 semesters ago. Yeah, so hopefully you do, but I don't deactivate you, I don't enroll you, I don't control the activation. I just stick stuff there and hopefully you guys access, and whether you have access forever or not, I don't know. It's not really my worry once I get past P1, really after the exam, right? I check out. get a whole new batch of students, go again. What else? That's not a bad thing, right? I'm not saying it check out in a bad way. Go for it.
How long does it usually take to mark final exam?
It does take time, and we don't release the grades until they actually go through a process to getting towards the exam board. So sometimes the P1 stuff can be a few days before the exam board when it gets released. But generally there's a day where most papers' data gets unlocked in Arian and you can see it in the Arian system. But the exam data doesn't get published, and it may be well and truly marked and ready and moderated long before that date, or it may not be. It may be taking more time. But generally, where is it? I've seen the email with the date, but I can't remember. It's like week 16 or 17, somewhere around there, probably 16. It's a pretty tight turnaround. I feel sorry for the lecturers that have to do a Friday, week 15 lecture and then mark everything to get it back in the system to then go through the overall process. Thankfully, P1's not quite in that boat. But it does take time, and all the data ends up getting released centrally, not by me. So I can't even tell you when that will happen. Does that help? No. Yeah, I can't answer that question because I don't control the exam process. How long does it take to mark? Well, if you want to know insight into marking one exam, it could be, if you leave it all blank, less than a minute. Perfect. There's a little overhead for getting each exam script, or the submission is tiny. If it's a good quality exam, it could be less than 2 minutes. Right? You do every question, everything works, run it through the system, look at everything, go, yep, all there, perfect, done. The vast majority take a bit longer, because they're not perfect and they're not empty. So we have to look much more closely at everything. Please, just do everything, get it all perfect, makes marking way easier. Or leave it all blank, makes marking very easy. It makes the marker sad, but you're better to put stuff everywhere. Good quality stuff. Maybe that helps a bit more? No. It takes time to mark things. Test 3 is well and truly underway. We're getting there. But give us a little bit more time. There's a long weekend coming. Nobody's going to work over that long weekend. Nobody's employed to do it. It's a reality, right? What else? Still got time? Over it? No. I like the idea. I'd love to make you make a game. That sounds fun, but no. I got feedback much earlier in P1, many iterations ago, that said there are far too many games in P1. So, okay, got rid of them. It's okay. There's some still there, but yeah, you can take the previous one feedback for just stripping it back to making it more business. Fair enough. What else do you need? Anything? Oh no! Let's see what happens. What else? What else do you need for the final exam? Anything? What do you want? Go for it.
Are we able to get any past exam papers?
You already have them because they're already in the lab exercises. They're there already. There, you got them. Go for it.
Mine's going to be similar to the actual, the wording of the question itself, do this.
They are already there. You're already doing them. I can go and just grab any random lot out of Blackboard and I'll pinpoint this was semester 2, 2015. This is semester 1, 2017. They're already there. You're already doing them. You've got the iteration of P1 that has 50 exercises. A good raft of alternate things that speak to the same theme of the basics of programming. Earlier iterations of P1 had less. How do I generate more? I just cut up the test, cut up the exam, put them back in as exercises. You're already doing them. Already there. Go for it. Oh yeah. Yeah, I would definitely be doing those. That's okay. They're definitely there's going to be variety across the theme. Don't be surprised if D&E get harder or easier, depending on how you feel about it. But yeah, a lot of those are old questions from old tests or old exams. So yeah, if I was a student, I'd be doing them all. I know some students do. I used to get students say, give me more, give me more. I still get that. Give me more. Okay. Oh, there's only so much of me to go around, but I guess I'll try and give you more exercises. Yeah, I would definitely do the E and Ds. Learn more. Programming's a never-ending thing, right? You just keep learning more and more and more. But there'll be a point, there'll be a tipping point where you feel you've got the ability to tackle any problem. It'll take years to get there. I know that. What else do you need? Willing to answer anything. 13 minutes. Next week I'll be overseas at game conferences, doing game technical type things. Go for it.
It's more a question for next year. So
Okay.
for B2 it will be around C++ or Java.
At the moment it's Java based, but I don't teach P2 currently, so I can't speak to what they're going to do. But at the moment it's Java based. I'm not even sure who's actually down to teach it next year. But yeah, it's up to them in a way. I mean, there's a bigger picture of all the pieces that you learn, but it's probably Java. What else? Yep.
Another thing to do is have a recording journal about your slides. What if sometimes your slide is the best way for me to understand? Because I'm making journals not for you in the first place, but for me, like, those I can use.
You should take your impression of that knowledge and put it into your journal. Don't copy my slide and paste it in your journal. It should be your impression of that knowledge. Right? It's not an exercise in like, go to the library, photocopy a page of the book, stick it in a journal. No, there's no digestion, there's no like thought process, there's no like curating it into your journal. Don't copy my slides. Go for it. I feel like I've been very clear from day one. I'm not sure how much clearer I can be. Do not copy my slides. It's in the brief. Write your own notes. Don't copy mine. You interpret my notes, absolutely. Write your own version of whatever you want in your journal. It's your resource, it's your notes, it's the thing you're taking away from this that builds the lasting memory of how to program, all the effort you went to, all the tricks you learned, all the things that you're going to forget because there's way too many things to remember. The journal holds that. You go back and look at it. I can go back to my first year, my second year of my degrees and pull my journals off the shelf. Some papers did reward us for it, others did not. P1, we've chosen to do that, to reward you by giving you a mark for it. But I can go back to my first year and second year journals and pull any of those off the shelf now and look at them. Are there. Probably if I think back to how old I am and how long ago I did Astrophysics 112, Introduction to Dynamical Systems, or whatever it was called. I can't even remember the title of the paper, but my journal's here to refresh my memory. What else? 20 minutes, go for it.
Just wanted to check, in your time doing C language, what would you say is the hardest aspect of yourself personally?
What was really hard for me when I learned C? It was having nobody to talk to about it. Yeah, it's sad. It was hard, right? Because there was nobody to talk to. Like, the people around me didn't know how to program. There's nobody to talk to. I had to, like, go to the library and get books to really get it. I programmed in a variety of things before I programmed C, but C brought its own things that were tricky. The type of programming I've done before that didn't really give me what I needed to understand how to program the machine and how to actually convey a high-level idea to make it work, to make an automated system. So what was hard? Yeah, it was just purely not having anyone to talk to about it. I would have loved to have been in a classroom like this and be able to say to the people around me, hey, I don't understand what a function is. Can you tell me how parameters work? Can you tell me how this array thing works when you pass it through? Can you tell me what a pointer is and pass my reference? It would have been fantastic to have that. Somebody will have to fill them in. But yeah, the hardest thing is just having nobody to talk to. It's very different now. You've got the internet, right? This is dating me age-wise, right? There was no internet for me to go to. And I started using the internet in the mid-90s when there was a dial-up and you could pay per moment, second, right? You're paying per minute and second that you use. It's very slow internet. You'd probably be surprised if you had the memories I do of the internet of old. Go for it.
What program do you use for game development, and
C++.
is there anywhere we could go to get maybe like a head start or something that?
Oh yeah, Google. Excellent. Yeah, there's loads of textbooks as well. Like I often introduce people to the Michael Dawson book, like Learn C++ through Game Programming. Michael Dawson, it's in the library here. Totally reasonable book. If you know C, it'll be very easy to. If you know C, it'll be very easy to pick up C++. Go for it.
Should I go for Unreal Engine or Unity?
Depends on the game you want to do. What was the last bit of the question?
Unreal or Unity?
Yeah, it depends on the game you want to do. They both have their own goodnesses to them. Me, I'd use neither, but that's just me.
What would you do?
I'd write my own. What? That's what I think. It's like years of experience of building stuff. You should see my engine. But no, I won't show you. Actually, what game engine? Like I have my own system, right, that I built. I did consider bringing in some code to actually show you a large-scale system, but I decided not to. It's scary in a way, right? I don't want to scare you too much. It's tricky. It's a delicate balance, right? Programming is intimidating. Stefan needs to learn that we struggle with it. I know that. What else do I know? All those things you tell me I don't know. I know them. What else do you need to know? 16 minutes. Lots of time. Go for it.
Will you still get help in summer break?
You know, I'll have lots of other jobs to do. You can email, absolutely, but it doesn't mean I'll be able to reply. I do have annual leave to take as well, right? Like I don't get to take leave necessarily during the semester because I have to teach you guys. So yeah, I'd like to take some leave as well, please. But try and email me. Students do, right? I get emails from students all the time. All the way back to when I first started teaching stuff. It's really good to see. But yeah, but I'm not going to like go out of my way to help 500 students that I taught in 2018 over the summer. You know, I feel like I've done enough to give you enough to get you further along. But sure, if you want to email me, go for it. No problem. Don't expect a reply. I might be on leave, but I might not be. Anyway, that doesn't really fit the exam mold. What else? What else do you need to know? Yep.
How many marks is the exam out?
100. 100. It's like a percentage, right? 1 mark, 1%. By the way, divide that 100 by 2, you get the mark out of 50, which tells you exactly the weighting of what you're going to add to your current score. Quite useful. Right, 100 divided by 2, you get 100 out of 100, that's 50 out of 50. Perfect. Good stuff. People do score